is an August to remember in the Needham real estate market. Welcome to What's My House Worth? My name is Rob Tickton alongside a raspy Ryan McDonald. We are with Hawthorn Real Estate. We provide real estate brokerage services. We are also a design build firm. And Ryan, when I ask you for one word to describe the real estate market in the month of August, what would that one word be?
Abundant.
Not bad.
Yeah.
We were going for outrageous.
Oh, sorry.
That being said, let's take a look at the sales data. We got a lot of slides to cover today, and numbers are kind of jumping off the chart here as we look at what happened in this crazy month. Ryan, what jumps off the page more than anything else?
Yeah, I mean, the 55 homes sold, Rob, that's obviously a big number, up from 45 last month, and we'll see how it fared against other Augusts a little bit later. But looking at the other numbers, their statistics, they're pretty consistent with what we've been seeing month over month, except, Rob, look at the average sale price per square foot.
Continuing to climb, Ryan.
$366 a foot. That's the highest number we've seen, I think, probably ever.
Agreed. Yeah, and to see it with that many sales too makes it all the more extraordinary.
Right. It's a good, solid sample size. It's a really strong price per square foot. You know, indicative of a really, really strong market.
Well, we talked about a really, really strong spring market. So let's take a look at the trailing 6 months so we can see kind of how it played out throughout the summer, because of course the spring sales are registered over the course of the summer months, and 161 sales over the last 3 months has to be a record, wouldn't you think?
I would guess.
That's a ton.
I mean, just looking at August, and then I think we'll see even how it stands out even more on the next slide. But really, really, I can't keep saying really, really, but it's just these numbers are really telling a story of an active, strong real estate market in Needham. Right,
death taxes and 30-plus sales in the month of August in Needham, and all of a sudden that number jumps from high 30s to 55. Truly staggering.
Yeah.
So let's take a peek now at each slide. We're going to run through it pretty quickly, but stay on them long enough for you to soak it all in, as I know we all want to do. 50 River Park Street is number one, and Ryan, this one sells for $435,000. It had assessed value, Ryan, of $442, so pretty good job there.
Yep, it's pretty much on point. This is a large lot. It's over 13,000 square feet. The lot does abut 128. This is River Park is over across Highland Ave near Mills Field in the Gould, that area of town. So right up against 128, but a good-sized lot.
Right, and speaking of abutting 128, 16 Ledge Street is the next listing. It's right off of Reservoir. This one sells for $475. Couple sales in the fours, Ryan.
Yeah, another one that's over 13,000 square feet, but I think your fours is indicative of its location. It's on the other side of 128 on the Newton side, but another big lot for the fours.
If you're looking for a new oil tank and a 2-year-old roof, then the next listing is for you. Although I'm guessing that's probably not number 1 and 2 on many people's wish list. 265.
Yeah. Those are two nice things to have, though.
Sure. Yeah, it saves you a little bit of money.
Yep.
265 Greendale Avenue. Assessed value of $510, sells for $520.
Yep. I mean, it's 10,000 square foot lot on Greendale, kind of up around the bend, closer to Highland Ave than say 128. But $520 for 10,000 square feet, a little dated inside, but like as you mentioned, some updates have been done to some of the bigger ticket items.
Right, and 1,700 square feet, not a bad size there for $520,000. 1018 Central Avenue. We're starting to work our way a little bit away from 128 now with this listing. Did you notice that it had a work bay below the garage floor?
I did notice that, and I'm curious about how that is accessed.
Yeah.
And then I just, not having seen this house, I kind of, once I saw that in the description, I was disappointed that I didn't see it. So if you're the new owner, give us a call, and if it wants to come over and check it out for you, that'd be fun for us.
Yeah, looking forward to that phone call. We'll give the phone number at the end of the show because I'm sure the owner's watching.
Yep.
Bad news at 30 Sachem Road. The bad news is that the AC is on the upper level only. The good news is that appears to be most of the house, Ryan.
Right. I mean, that was my takeaway when I saw that too. I was like, this is a ranch, so if it's on the upper level only. So you're talking about not having AC in the basement, which, as you know, it's typically not as necessary down in the lower level. This one is interesting because it went on and off the market very quickly, but in between going under agreement, came back on the market. So in 5 days, you had to go under agreement twice, and it sells for over asking. So good job.
Hot ticket item there.
So somebody clearly got cold feet, but did it quickly, and then went to probably the next highest bidder, and bingo bango, you've got it under agreement in 5 days.
That's how it's supposed to work, Ryan.
That's right.
Back to River Park Street.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had many listings on River Park Street, have we?
Everybody was waiting for August to buy their house on River Park.
The first two we've had in the last 3 years. This one is unlike the other one, recently renovated and probably has a little bit to do with it selling for $605,000.
Yeah, and it's also kind of on the interior of River Park, so not abutting 128, so which makes for a little bit quieter of a backyard setting.
Yeah. Over at 213 Dedham Ave, some bad news here, Ryan.
Uh-oh, more? There's been a lot of bad news so far.
Sorry. We have a hot tub, but it's inoperable.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
we can fix that, Rob, by removing it. So this one has sold, this is the third time that it's sold for $512 in 2011, $525 in 2012, and now $630 in 2015. So that's a pretty good return.
Well, if you want to spend in the sixes and you want to be in a walk-to-town location, which I would say this is, it fits the bill. There aren't many of them.
Right.
And so I think you could check off that box, which is probably why each of those 3 times it wasn't on the market for very long.
Yep.
Took a little while, but 1567 Great Plain Avenue did sell. And I say it took a little while, I mean, kind of tongue-in-cheek.
Right, it's 53 days. I mean, in real, historically, that's a really quick turnaround, but in our world, that's an eternity.
Which is crazy.
I know.
But yeah, they did it the right way. They had it on the market. They reduced it, and then sure enough, got a buyer in there. Built in 1948, and this is in the Newman School District.
Yes, right. Is it or it could be Hillside? It's right across from Old Time Garage on Great Plain Ave.
You're correct. It's on the other side there, Great Plain. 148 Sylvan is the next listing. That's over near the High Rock School.
Yep.
You see how many heat zones this house had?
Several.
You want to take a guess? How many heat zones?
6.
10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah,
That's more than they had on Burr. It's a lot. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Go ahead. You put a little note on there. I saw.
Did I?
I thought the window ACs.
Oh, yeah. Right. The window ACs don't belong to the seller. So I just found that to be curious. Who do they belong to, Rob?
Right. You think maybe if had it said window ACs not included, might have been a better way to word that?
Is the seller confessing to having stolen the window units? Is this an admission of guilt?
Right. Whoever owns them hopefully wasn't paying attention to that listing. Interesting.
We've got your window units. If you're out there, just let us know. That's 2 phone calls we're getting.
They don't belong to the seller. 42 Park Avenue is the next listing, Ryan. I believe you wanted to touch on this listing a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, I almost wanted to just take a minute and just kind of shed some light on how this one went down. This one was one of our listings, and it was a unique situation in a product of the market we're in. That per the seller's request, there were no showings to be scheduled until Saturday when it went on, and somebody had missed out on a couple houses, had seen this thing online, and literally made an offer sight unseen that was negotiated and accepted. And when I went and then put it under agreement, it was much to the disappointment of several agents and buyers who expressed their disappointment because they didn't have a chance to see it. But it wasn't shown. It was purchased sight unseen, and it was one of those things that only happens in this type of market. But that's how this one went down.
There you go. That's a lot of money.
Good for the seller, yeah. It
good
really
for the seller, right? Getting good for the buyer, I guess.
They got what they wanted, and they're very happy. And it was, it may go down as quite possibly the easiest real estate transaction of all time.
Right. Well, it goes to show that once you've done this for a little while and you kind of are aggressive, that's the way you get property in this market. That if you kind of sit on the sidelines a little bit, then things seem to move along without you.
Right, you got to be ready to pounce, and this buyer certainly was.
Ready to pounce, indeed. Well said. 27 Morningside Road is our next listing. In 2011, this one sold for $585,000. This time around, it sells for $701,000.
Doesn't the $701,000 just immediately make you think that there might have been an escalation clause in a bidding situation there?
That's a good observation. And Ryan, for those viewers who don't know, what is an escalation clause?
An escalation clause is when, in a best and final situation, a buyer might submit an offer that says will exceed any other offer by X amount up to a ceiling. And
right.
It's, a lot of times people don't think maybe they're not playing fair, but it's another one of those ways to get a leg up. And when you see those kind of odd sales numbers, makes you think that somebody was at 7, and then the escalation clause bumps somebody up to 701.
And I feel like we're seeing more of these escalation clauses in this market than we've ever seen before. Wouldn't you agree?
Possibly. Yeah, definitely would.
All right, sneaky walk to town location alert.
Here we go.
Sneaky walk to town location alert.
Yep.
The next listing is 120 Garden Street. It's a sneaky walk to town location, Ryan.
Yep. It's this one. It has the train abutting. It's in the backyard of the property. It's a big lot, almost 13 or just over 12,000 square feet rather.
And a basketball court in the backyard.
And a basketball court, but no garage. So. 717 for 120 Garden Street.
All right. So you can play basketball. You just don't know necessarily where you're going to store your basketball.
Right. You need a bin.
Location, location, location.
Here we go. Those are the three magic real estate words.
That's right. 37 Plymouth is our next listing. That is located on the
Ladder Streets.
Correct.
Ladder Street. A Ladder Street.
It is a Ladder Street.
Yes. It is, I mean, a little dated, but good space. And obviously the location is very, very desirable. So it went quickly. So fast, in fact, that it didn't give the agent any time to put pictures on the listing.
Oh, darn. Well, there's this one.
Just that one. That's all there is.
Right.
That's all you get.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
That's all it took for this one, that's for sure.
Wyoming seems to be a recurring theme for us. A lot of Wyoming listings, I feel like, over the
last
past few
couple
months. And
definitely.
they all are, pretty similar to one another. This one's located at the corner of Wyoming and Nichols. It's 120 Wyoming Avenue. Sells for $721,000. That's a pretty good number, Ryan, wouldn't you say, for this one?
I mean, in 2010, it sold for $629, and other than some light cosmetics, there wasn't really many other updates to it.
Right, but that's, I mean, if, off the top of my head, you're talking about a 15-16% increase in sales price, which is probably what the market's done.
Yep.
Maybe even more since 2010.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but nice house, good location, and a good number for sure for the seller.
All right. We're getting into these, I think we might have maybe potentially a couple of redevelopment or teardowns coming up.
Yep.
153 Tudor Road. We're not too sure about this one, but it certainly...
It looks that way, Rob. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a 14,000 square foot lot on a nice street, and it sells for $725. That's about what I would say its land value is. So my guess is that if you drove by 153 Tudor Road right now, you may not see it.
All right. 360 Central Avenue is our next listing, and this one has a little bit of red writing.
It does.
Ryan, which would signify that it is my deal of the month. And the reason it's my deal of the month, on paper, I like this house. Lots of space. You got 2 baths on the 2nd floor. You got a big lot, 27,000 square feet, and it's move-in condition. So a lot of things kind of going for this one. It's a busier street, Central Avenue, but it is right next to John Street, just a house down. So you got a quieter street there. Just thought it was a really good value, and to get all these things for low $700,000, I think it was a nice little package. I thought the buyers did pretty well there.
Good.
All right, 109 Arch Street, and we're back to the land sale.
This is a land sale. This is the corner of Arch and Edward L. It's a 10,000 square foot lot, and it will be redeveloped.
All righty. 19 Ensland Road. If you want to take a short stroll over to Broad Meadow, this would be the listing for you. Many recent updates in this one, Ryan.
Yep, Rob, this is on the backside of Broad Meadow School. Had an updated kitchen, the bath, the lower level bathroom is one of those where it shares it with a laundry room, so you better make sure you knock when you're going in to do your laundry. This is a 7,800 square foot lot, as I mentioned, on the backside of Broad Meadow School. There's been a couple sales on Ensland. That neighborhood's becoming fairly popular, I think.
Yeah, it's turning over.
Yeah.
53 Cary Road, a unique listing. I don't think we've seen this before. One that was leased through June of 2016.
Yeah, you're buying a tenant.
You're buying a tenant. So if it's an investment property, then you're good to go. But if
You're
you want
buying
to move
a tenant, or you're moving into a crowded house.
right, or you're kicking somebody out.
Yeah.
So it's one of many things. 15 Richard Road is our next listing. This one sells for $750. Priced pretty high, Ryan, out of the gate at $9.25.
Yeah, I think it was priced for a homeowner, and it ended up being a land sale. This is currently on the market as new construction for $1,799. So we will be talking about that one down the road.
Redevelopment indeed.
Yep.
As is the next listing, 190 Lindbergh Ave. Speaking of listings our office are affiliated with, although we weren't just doing that. This one sells for $755. It was on the market for a while. Anybody who wanted to buy it to move into it had the opportunity, certainly.
Definitely.
But it goes for, as I said, $755.
Yeah, and this is, we're still kicking the can on this one, whether we're going to do a renovation project or a new build. So it's, if anyone's interested, this is available.
Stay tuned, everybody. 82 Deerfield is our next listing. We are continuing to climb the ladder. This one sells for $765. Highly desirable, Ryan.
Highly desirable indeed, Rob. Big spread over asking too. $76,000 over asking. This one sold.
Yeah.
So that's aggressive. I like this neighborhood. I mean, it butts the town forest. So your backyard is your backyard, and then you have just an immense forest behind you that has all kinds of opportunities for things to do.
Yeah, nice and quiet back there. 1262 Central Avenue is our next listing. Sells for $788.
Yeah, it's a good number. This is between High Rock and Mark Tree on the avenue, so right by Newman School. Good space, nicely updated, but it's close to $800,000.
53 Border Road, Ryan, has location, it's got condition, and it's got style, and it sells for $791.5.
Yeah, and it was on the market for a little while. and did a couple of aggressive price reductions. Went from 859 and ultimately priced at 800 even, and then it went under agreement shortly thereafter.
All righty, very good. 27 Richdale Road went on the market at 849, priced seemingly very well. Sells for 840. Looked like it was in pretty good condition, right?
Yep, definitely updated. It was the way the house was positioned on the lot, though. It's a corner lot, and often that can affect your outdoor space. So not a lot of really outdoor runaround space at this house, but a nice house nonetheless.
36 Thorpe, I feel like, is a house we've spoken about quite a bit over the years. It's been seemingly on and off the market all the time.
A lot, yeah. As a rental or a listing.
You do what you want with that thing. It sold for $790 in 2014. Mm-hmm. It was it says built in 2010. It
was built in 2005.
2005.
Yeah, it was a modular house built in 2005. Small lot, 5,600 square feet. As you mentioned, been on and off the market a ton. It's been rented, so now it was contingent 3 times just in this deal alone. So, definitely is a house that people kick the tires on for sure.
All righty. 18 Fay Lane is next up. Sells for $858, $7,000 less than what it was listed for on the market for just 3 days. Mm-hmm. Next up, 8 Brewster Drive, another listing affiliated with our office. Ryan, go.
Cul-de-sac, really quiet spot, nice location in the Olin Woods neighborhood. Move-in condition, and needs a little bit, probably some cosmetics, particularly on the outside.
Right.
It's kind of yellowish with brown trim. I think the owners are probably going to do something about that.
Not a lot of cosmetics needed on the inside, I thought.
Very move-in condition.
195 Paul Revere, a bigger lot, a third of an acre. Not level necessarily, but it had a pretty cool step down there in the backyard. This one sells for $889,000. Next up, back to Olin Woods, 99 Mayflower Road. Something tells me priced at $824, sells for $910. Maybe the owner and listing agent didn't know what that house was worth.
I hope not, because they're standing here. But this is, as we talked about, Rob, the epicenter of Olin Woods. This house got a lot of attention. It was in great condition. It was unique in the floor plan, though. First floor master, but an isolated master, so you weren't, it was on the first floor, but not in the thick of things. So a nice layout, and it really was heavily sought after, as indicated by its sale price.
Right, and the strategy of you can't underprice a house in a hot market was certainly employed there. 15 Rosegate is a house that was built in 2000, sells for $915 as we continue to climb towards climb towards $1 million. But that one is
20,000 square foot lot.
Yeah, that's big. 24 Hollow Ridge connects Damon and Tanglewood.
Okay.
This one goes for $930, and one of Needham's most sought after neighborhoods.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
It's a good neighborhood.
Yeah, updated 10,000 square foot lot. Aggressive. It's a nice price for that house.
Alrighty, over at 46 Hillcrest Road. This one interesting. So $117,000 discount after being on the market for just 26 days, but that doesn't mean that they got this house for a song. It was probably sold for certainly what it was worth, maybe priced a little bit on the high side. So good work by the agent getting his sellers to come to a price that was probably just about on the money. 36 Rosemary Street, you and I both walked through this.
Yep.
I remember that.
And we had the same comment.
I liked it.
I did too. But remember, when we looked at the square footage after the fact, we're like, oh, it just felt bigger.
Yeah, shocking.
So the square footage was 2,200 square feet. It felt like there was more space, and I think that number surprised us when we saw it.
Yeah, maybe next time in a situation like this, the listing agent should just lie. Put more square footage down, and then they'll sell it. Just kidding. 3 Thorpe Road is our next listing, and whoa,
yikes!
How about that?
Yeah, this is my deal of the month for the seller, and it has nothing to do with 3 Thorpe Road, because 3 Thorpe, for anyone who saw it, was beautiful.
Yeah, very.
Just meticulously updated, well done, really, really a nice house, and the sales price reflects that. The reason why I think it's my deal of the month for the seller is because at $975, that's as much as this house is ever going to be worth, because you can't improve this house anymore. So unless the market continues to appreciate rapidly, $975, you're buying it at the peak, and there's really not much you can do to make it any better. And just to put it in perspective, last 5 years, Rob, how many sales of 3-bedroom houses were there in the last 5 years at this price point?
3.
There were 5. 5, and 3 of those 5 were over 4,000 square feet.
Right, I was going to say, and on potentially big lots.
Yeah, so this is a great house, and the buyer's going to be very happy with it. It's the height of the market for this one.
All right, speaking of height of the market, 12 Luar Drive had a lot of action, multiple offers, lands at $975, which I was a little surprised about since there was a lot of activity
Yeah.
there. 34 Coolidge Avenue puts us over the $1 million mark. This one was on the market, then off the market, then back on, and then it quickly went back off. Sells for a good bit over the listing price.
Yeah, for a rarely available Ladder Street home, it's been on the market 3 times and so forth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
153 Elmwood Road is next up. It sells for 1112, and it was in mint condition. This house was very clean.
Yeah, it really showed well. And 14,000 square foot lot, great neighborhood. This is a
big
nice house.
backyard.
Yeah,
big backyard
Yep.
and a nice neighborhood. 83 Wachusett Road, a tranquil oasis is probably a good way to describe this one.
yeah, it's tucked up on the hill there on Wachusett.
It's unassuming.
It is. It's a beautiful home. It was very, very well built and well designed. Nice layout. Hardscapes outside were impressive. It's just it's a tricky spot. You know, getting in and out of there. Up of Geneva, or I think is the access point for that one. But,
Yes.
But nice house. For sure.
You do though. You lose some buyers before
Yes.
they even step into the front door.
Yep. Because they can't find it.
Right. Exactly. 238 Rosemary Street is our next listing. We both saw this one, and kind of a similar in the sense that a trickier location. You're right there on Rosemary Lake, and which it was interesting because I want to say it was on the market while it was being drained, which I don't think did it any favors.
And they made a point of acknowledging it in the listing sheet that this isn't how it always is. It's just it happens this time of year.
Right. 6 Oak Hill Road is the next listing. Had a good chance to communicate with the listing agent during the broker tour here. Sells for 1225. Nice house, Ryan.
Yeah, it is a nice house, Rob. I noticed that they had a projection TV and a widescreen in the family room, so that was kind of cool.
Previous owners like their technology,
yeah,
I think is what
so.
you're saying. 204 Brookline Street is the next listing affiliated with our office. This one, 4 levels of finished space,
Yeah.
which I think helped, and obviously I think you could throw a rock to Mitchell.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I could.
Yeah, you could definitely with your arm.
Yeah.
It's right across the street from Mitchell, built in 2004. This is a well-maintained home. Nice little deal.
Yeah. 455 High Rock Street is a house that was now this one was on the market for a little while.
I got a stat for you, Rob.
Oh, I can't wait.
This one, between March 16th of 2006 and June 16th of 2015, this house has been on the market or for sale or for rent for 831 days.
Huh.
And that's basically 25% of the total time between those 2 dates. It's been on the market either as a rental or a for sale listing.
Yeah, this house just needs somebody to buy it who will love it.
Right. It needs someone to make a commitment. Make a commitment to 455 High Rock new owners.
Come on.
Do it.
Put a ring on the house already. 27 Curve Street sells for 125.
A lot going on Curve Street.
Yeah, gosh.
A lot going on.
Curve should be much bigger.
It's
914 Central Avenue has a second laundry room.
And one of the coolest outdoor grills, backyard islands setups you're going to find. It was really neat.
Alrighty. 52 Pond Street is our next listing, and it's a private road, Ryan. Do you like private roads? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, why?
I don't know why. You just said yes or no.
All right, well, thanks for playing along. That one sells for 126.
Good number. Good number.
Yeah.
I thought. Built in 1997, overlooks the Trout Pond, the Sportsman's Club. But I thought that was a good number for that.
Okay. It's much different than the next listing. I mean, you want to talk about
Yes.
2 houses that sell for $30,000,
Right.
but
Have
two
nothing to do with each other.
very different.
Yep.
64 Fair Oaks Park was a smaller home, I mean, 2,000 square feet. 2045, you're talking about a sales price of 129. I mean, you want to talk location, location.
Right.
This is what this one is.
Right.
And the house was very nice. Don't get me wrong.
It's unique. I mean, it has double level screen porches, which is a rarity. You don't necessarily see that all the time. There's an addition off the back. It's a cool house, and I think the owner's going to do probably some work to it down the road. But as you mentioned, you can't beat the location.
Right. 10 Birchwood Road is a new construction home.
It is.
Sells for 1,336.
It did.
It's you can walk to town center certainly.
Yeah.
Short might be stretching a little bit.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything
If
else?
it would have said short walk to Newman or High Rock School, I would be more inclined to say yes.
Hey, whatever. Got the job done.
Right.
18 Newberry Park is a
Nice house.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know where I was going with that.
I like this one a lot. Great location, very close to the Hersey train station. Nicely built, nicely decorated.
Nicely renovated.
The hardscapes were very nice outside. The master suite was well done. Steam shower, very tasteful. I really like this a lot.
Shared driveway though, correct?
Yes.
I thought we noticed that when we were in.
Yeah. All right. So thumbs down for that, but I'm sure you can work that out with your neighbor.
98 Grosvenor.
A lot going on in Grosvenor too.
Yeah.
Grosvenor and Curve.
Yeah.
Really busy.
Those are drawings.
Yep.
28 Pine Grove Street is the next listing. Sells for 1,432, and I mean, perfect timing to get settled before the school year begins. I mean, isn't that what this is really all about, Ryan? Doesn't that kind of summarize the whole month?
Yeah, that's what the spring market's all about. You get out there in the spring, get your house all geared up, and then you move in the summer and do what you need to do, and then bingo bango, it's time to go to school.
Yeah, and it is time to go to school.
Yeah, 11,000 square foot lot, nice. That part of town also is seeing some redevelopment in recent times.
Right.
Warm.
That's how we described that location,
That's right.
I think, in a previous episode.
We did. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks. 104 Bird Street is our next listing. Sells for 1,585. We're starting to climb the ladder a little bit here,
and
Ryan.
this is a 15,000 square foot lot. So big lot near Broadmeadow School. I mean, Bird's kind of a sneaky busy street. If you're not careful on Bird, you'll find yourself in traffic. It's because it's sort of a cut through between Great Plain and Greendale.
Yeah.
So just something to be aware of.
Right. Large 3-season porch.
Yes.
You like the 3-season
Love
porch?
them.
Yeah.
Love them.
For some reason, I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh,
I get it, though. I get it.
Basically all of our customers are asking for them.
Yeah.
When we're building their houses, they love them.
Yeah. 36 Ray Avenue is the next listing.
Has a screened-in porch.
Okay. Well, maybe that explains why it sold for 161. It was newer home.
Yeah.
Young.
This is, and you can tell the difference. I mean, this was a custom-built home, and it's on the market as a resale. Due to a relocation of the owner, but it's a really nice home, and it has a lot of features like geothermal heating system, a lot of built-ins, the screen porch I mentioned, really nicely finished, and that's indicative of an active participating homeowner during the construction process who really knew what they wanted and put it into the house and spent the money and did a nice job.
All right. Yeah.
And it pays off. It shows in the resale. I mean, I think it's a really nice home.
Ryan, you got 4 cents on you?
No.
No? All right. Too bad. Because I was hoping to get 23 Dogwood Lane to a round number.
Right.
And I thought maybe you could kick in 4 cents to make that
Right.
happen.
I'm really sorry
You
about
were
that.
affiliated with that transaction.
Yeah, the dollars and cents there is probably definitely my fault. But yeah, we were on the buy side of this, and this house, it was a spec house that turned into a custom home as a buyer latched onto it pretty quickly, or about midway through construction, I should say, but was active in all the finishings, and that's where you get that strange number, because there were a lot of upgrades and we did some built-ins and reconfigured the basement layout to how they wanted. So the builder was very amenable to working with the buyer, and they did a really, really nice job. It turned out to be a pretty awesome house.
And some really great accounting, obviously,
Yeah.
that went along with those additions. 374 South Street rounds out. Wow, that was quick. 55. It's the big seller. This house was on the market for a long time too.
It was, yeah. I mean, but what's a show in 2015 without a $2 million plus sale?
Yeah, no kidding. There has to be one. It didn't used to be that way, but now.
Right. I mean, now they're just every month we got $2 million sales to talk about.
All right, let's jump over to the market snapshot before we start giving out some contact info.
Okay.
And see how things are looking as we're now kind of getting into the fall market here. Anything jumping out at you? I was a little surprised to see that that single-family listings is up, the homes under agreement down, so it does feel like we're definitely
we're starting to absorb some of those sale pendings.
Yeah.
But still, as you mentioned, a decent amount on the market. A lot of it's new construction, as you can see by the average listing price right now. But there is stuff to look at.
Alrighty, so Ryan, first of all, good job.
Oh, thanks, Rob.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great, but I worked through it.
Right.
That's what we do here.
Right, you don't sound good, but the things you're saying are great.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
So if people want to reach out to us, how would they do that?
They can give us a call, Rob, at 781-707-6564, or they can email us if they don't want to listen to my voice on the phone. They can email at rob.ryan@hawthornre.com.
That'll do it for this edition of What's My House Worth, a busy one. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again real soon.